Hello, class. This is Dr. Thompson. I wanted to talk to you briefly about the research paper that's coming up and the sources you'll need to use and the kind of information you need to be researching. So we are in the course here, as you see, our English 1102 course, and I'm going to go to the lessons and short stories and then down to our research paper. These are the topics, of course, which you can read for yourself and choose one of these. Notice it says you must choose one of these topics. You should not write about anything else. If you do have an idea for another topic, certainly ask and receive approval from me prior to writing or researching. It would be a shame for you to write an entire paper and it not be on an acceptable topic and you have to do it again or get a zero. So be sure to write on one of those topics. This is about how to write a literary analysis. This thing, you can read that for yourself. The essay requirements are pretty self-explanatory, I think. Notice that each body paragraph should be supported with information and or analysis that you learned in your research. In other words, you have your introduction, of course, and your conclusion, but each body paragraph should have documented information. There should be some kind of internal citation in each body paragraph with information that you learned from a source. Now, all that about internal citations and the works cited page, that's down here. The MLA information YouTube video, I created that last year or so. But that tells you how to do the internal citations and the works cited page. And then this also gives you some information down here. And I may add a couple of other links, honestly, here in a few minutes. So there'll be plenty of information about MLA down here at the bottom. So I'm not getting into that now. But I do want to get into this right here, the information about sources. Notice that you should use the GNTC databases for your sources, Galileo or whatever. And actually this information in here is true, but there's another way to do it that I think they've added recently, honestly. So I'm going to go to Georgia Northwestern's homepage here. I'm going to My Resources and down to Library. And then you can, and the directions say to click on articles and databases, which is fine. But this right here really, does, I think this Primo thing searches all of the databases, if I understand it correctly. So, and I'm gonna see how I do here. I may not find much of anything, but I wonder if I could find information, let's say on a Marxist analysis of barn burning. I understand being very specific in my search. I'm not just going to search for barn burning. Although I might have to if I get desperate. But for now, I want to see if there's anything on Marxism and barn burning. Because that's a very Marxist story, as you know, about social classes and who has and who doesn't have and who wants and, socioeconomic levels and power structures and that kind of thing. So, here are some, there are only 59 results and here are some of them. I don't know if any of these do you any good or not, but of course, on some of these, like As I Lay Dying, that's a whole different novel. That's not even about barn burning. This is interesting. Social alienation and ooh, that looks like a good one there, doesn't it? And notice it does say full text available. You want to be sure that, the article you can get the full text online. Otherwise, it's not, you can't quote from the abstract or from the summary. You have to quote from the actual article. But here we have the full text, so we can click on it and see what we can find. Okay, so I guess we have to click here to get to the actual text of the article. You have to kind of look around on these things and do a little trial and error. Again, an abstract is just a summary. Which may help you to know if it's going to do you any good or not to read the summary, but you can't quote from the summary. That's not the source. The source is the full text. And this is the information, and that goes on your works cited page. And again, all that is covered in the next video. Here we go. Look at that. Class is a key Marxist concept. Ooh, boy, that's a great source there. And you only have to have 2 to 4 sources, so I'm halfway home when I found this great article. So you really should be able to find information. Now, your information, I wonder how do I get rid of this? Oh, here we go. There's big X right there. Anyway, that worked too. your articles do not necessarily have to be literary. For example, if you're doing average waves in unprotected waters, you could just research treatment of autism in the that I think it was written in the 70s, maybe. Treatment of autism, 1970s. LSD. Don't know if that has anything to do with the story, but it sounds like an interesting article. Of course, China's not going to do much good. Macedonia. But anyway, this one might be interesting here. I don't know. But, so again, you can just find some articles here on that topic. So they're not necessarily about average waves in unprotected waters. Obviously, you're going to relate the information you find in this research to the story. You're going to relate the information to Bette and her son and what they're going through. But you're not necessarily going to find information about that story. In all honesty, I doubt you're going to find any articles on average waves in unprotected waters. It's not a really very well-known story, and it's not one I think that would be dealt with a lot, by English professors. But you can find information about autism and you can make it fit. A lot of the other stories, feminism in the chrysanthemums. That may not be enough. I need to put Steinbeck there. Gosh knows, I don't know what all this is. I'm not seeing anything that maybe I need to put Steinbeck. Well, there's only one result there, and that's not doing me much good. So, that I'm not having much luck with that one right now. Maybe if I look through is that all there are? How many are there? Well, there are 45. Here we go. The chrysanthemums and the sword. What is that? Anyway, that's what you do. You look and you say, what is that? And you click on it and see if it's going to do you any good. And you only have to have 2 to 4 sources. So it's not like this should take a real long time. And you could just do, again, treatment of women in the 1930s when that story was written. And, you should find several hits there. And again, you can relate the information you find to the story. Obviously not from Argentina or Argentinian women. That's Argentine women, whatever. That's not going to do you much good. But you want America. And again, maybe you have to put that treatment of women in 1930s America to get rid of these other countries that are clogging it up. So we've got 22,000 hits here. So, and of course we're getting Australian women encounter America or whatever. Again, you have to go through a lot of sources that aren't going to do you any good. But sometimes, like I found with barn burning, you're going to find a really good one. So anyway, hopefully that helps you. If you have questions about sources or topics or anything, please ask. By all means, watch the next video about MLA. That's going to help you a lot. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.